We are at beautiful Belmont Park on another lazy, hazy Friday afternoon. Summer has arrived in the Big Apple, and we are off and running here on MSG+. It is Jason Blewitt, Andy Serling alongside. Glad you're with us from our third-floor clubhouse studios. Can you believe it? Another Belmont weekend's upon us, which means American Pharoah's win is almost a week old.
Almost a week old, but not forgotten. It's pretty amazing. In today's day and age where news gets forgotten, it seems like 24 hours, people are still buzzing about American Pharoah.
And rightfully so. First horse in 37 years to sweep the Triple Crown in the game of buzz, and he is transcending boundaries, it seems. He'll wind up on the cover of Vogue. He's already on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and he will make his presence felt tomorrow regarding an American Pharoah celebration at Churchill Downs. They'll have their Downs After Dark program. In fact, the third biggest card of the spring-summer meet at Churchill Downs in the form of the Stephen Foster program. And American Pharoah hit the track today for a 1-mile jog, and Bob Baffert with a big smile on his face.
I tell you what, this horse is incredible. I mean, it seems like he doesn't even know that he's been racing, and it's really a tribute to what a good horse he is, but also what a sensational job Bob Baffert and all the people that work with him have done with him, getting him back the races, and he seems like an unstoppable machine.
Indeed he does. We'll see where he goes next. They will fly him out to the West Coast. He'll be back home in Bob's Southern California base next week. I think Tuesday or Wednesday is the flight out there, and they'll point to the second half of the season. But exciting stuff with American Pharoah going forward, and Saturday was just such a great day here at Belmont Park. And you know, in Louisville, Kentucky, they will be packing the rafters to get a glimpse of him tomorrow night at Churchill Downs.
No question about it. What a great way to spend your Saturday night. Some terrific racing out there. There's 4 stakes, including the Grade 1 Stephen Foster, the return of Lee, but most importantly for the fans, American Pharoah.
And we'll be recapping those races, not to get ahead of ourselves, on the Monday and Tuesday National Racing Report right here on MSG+, alongside Richard Migliori. And how about tomorrow's featured poker, a bumped-up $300,000 purse, and just a very good field from top to bottom.
An excellent race. It's a Grade 3, but it's really a Grade 1.5. I mean, it's a sensational race. Some good up-and-comers, obviously, and we'll talk about it later in the show. But that poker came up better than you could have imagined.
El Campeon, one to keep an eye on. He's a Chilean champion, multiple Group 1 winner. He is now in the barn of Chad Brown, and Eric Donovan caught up with Chad earlier today to find out how he might run here tomorrow.
Chad, a big stakes day on Saturday for you. A couple nice wins from Slumber and March as well. Take us through both those races. I ride Ortiz on both of them for you, and he really put together some nice rides.
He sure did. Both horses, they had good posts, and he took advantage of it. He gave him beautiful trips.
March now 2 wins at 7 furlongs in the King's Bishop, the #1 goal for him now. Or do you look to stretch him out a little bit?
You know, we'll have to talk about it. You know, I'd say right now the King's Bishop will be the main goal with one start in between. Where that's going to be and when is yet to be determined.
And Slumber, 7 years old, runs the race of his life for you. You put the blinkers on. Did that make a big difference for him?
I think it did. You know, he was just not finishing off the races that the way we had hoped. You know, you always learn about these horses as you train them, and we had thought about it in the past, maybe trying it, and we thought, hey, now's the time. It's a big race, and if we can make a little adjustment and it works, it's a big payday, and it was.
And you'll point to the Arlington Million with him?
Yeah, again, with a start in between yet to be determined. More than likely United Nations, but that's not set in stone. We'll just kind of see who runs where.
Okay, and El Campeon tomorrow in the poker here at Belmont. What are you expecting from him?
He's been training very well. We've been anxious to get the horse started. You know, a mile might be just a touch short. He has won at a mile before. The way he trains, he'll certainly stretch out to beyond a mile. I'd expect him to run well as long as the turf is firm.
Most of the horses you get, foreign shippers, they come from Europe, this one from South America. Big differences between the two?
There are some differences, and you know, particularly with this horse, he doesn't even turn 4 until August, really. So, and it's quite a challenge for him to run against older horses tomorrow, but I think he can handle it.
All right, great. Thanks a lot, Chad, and good luck to you.
Thanks.
Good to catch up with A. Chad and B. the morning line maker extraordinaire, Eric Donovan. Nice to see him down in the paddock. Does a good job putting Belmont Insider together every night. And I was remiss throwing to that brief hit in not mentioning Chad's Belmont Stakes undercard here Saturday, which was huge when Eric talked about March and Slumber, who both won major stakes.
Yeah, I mean, not surprisingly, a lot was lost in the wake of American Pharoah's win, and Chad had a sensational day. For him to buy Slumber. He didn't buy him, but the Current Connections bought him from Juddmonte, who, of course, Bobby Frankel, his ex-boss, trained for. Bought him for a couple $100,000 and win $1 million race. A huge achievement for that 7-year-old. But also with Chad being labeled, and rightfully so, a very successful turf trainer, to win a $500,000 big race with a horse like March, that's a huge win for him.
And second major graded sprint stakes on the season for March, who back at the Big A on the Wood Undercard won the Bayshore, and he seems like a horse for Bob LaPenta. Maybe there's a case, A, we haven't seen his best, and B, there sounds like there's a chance they may stretch him out and see if he can go long once again.
Well, I mean, you have options coming to Saratoga. Do you want to run him in our Amsterdam and then go to the King's Bishop, or do you think you run him in the Jim Dandy, see how he does, and the best thing you can do is turn him back out of that race for the King's Bishop? It's the beauty of Saratoga, the beauty of a good horse. You have options.
91 wins on the year and counting for Chad. He's got $6.5 million in the bank, 2.7 of which has been earned in graded stakes, and we'll see what Il Campione does here tomorrow. We'll talk about the poker in a bit, but for now, let's get back to Friday's second race. It's the Friday feature. Big purse, 80 large. We've got fillies and mares on the turf.
Hill House High had a good start. Here's Risque Reality with early speed. And Risque Reality's going to grab the lead, and there goes Isabella Sings on the outside, and Isabella Sings now to the front. Risque Reality is second by 2.5. Vicky's Dancer is third. And then comes Carrie Bell fourth on the outside. After that, Persnickety and Eyeful and Hill House High, who popped onto the gate, is now trailing the field as they head up the backstretch. Isabella Sings up top 1.5 lengths through a 22 2/4. Risque Reality is second. Vicky's Dancer tracks them in third. And then comes Carrie Bell in fourth as they race into the far turn. Persnickety and Eyeful are together. They've got 4.5 lengths to make up. And Hill House High. Isabella Sings rounds the far turn in front by a length. Vicky's Dancer is second. On the outside comes Carrie Bell in third. Eyeful up into fourth now and charging toward the leaders while going 4 wide. A 45 2/2 mile. They're into the stretch. Isabella Sings, Vicky's Dancer, Eyeful on the far outside. In between them, Carrie Bell is right there. And Hill House High, who is last up the backstretch, is closing on the far outside. Eyeful to catch as they come into the final furlong. It's Eyeful, Vicky's Dancer, and Hill House High on the outside, who gets second late, but it will be Eyeful. Eyeful and Jose Lescano to beat Hill House High, and then came Vicky's Dancer and Carrie Bell.
Sky's the limit. Promise abounds for this British-bred 4-year-old filly in Eiffel. Very impressive in her seasonal debut.
No, very much so. And Graham Motion's horses off laugh, especially in turf sprints. They often are using them as preps, and he clearly probably didn't have her as ready as she can be. But she's just too good for these horses. A nice effort by Hill House High, and a good ride by Arad Ortiz just following that one. But she's not good enough to beat Eiffel. And, you know, you think about seeing My Miss Sophia and her big win a week ago Friday, or a week ago today, and you think about Eiffel, and these are all horses that could be pointing towards our Diana. This is a good horse.
And we are just 6 weeks, in fact, 6 weeks on the nose away from opening day at historic Saratoga Racecourse. They'll be in the gate for that Grade 1 Diana before we know it. And here comes Jose Lescano back. A good one for Graham Motion, who we say a belated Belmont Insider. Congrats to Graham, who back, I think, Monday won the 2,000th race of his career. Race number 5, Larry Colmus once again will have the call. We'll finish off the pick 5 and early 4 with the group on the turf. Widener, in fact. And here's Larry.
Tarzan is close up too, and up the inside comes Alexis Spirit as the field moves on to the backstretch. And then it's all about Ashley, who's right there in contention as well. Then we come back to Bullheaded Boy on the inside. Social Rebellion is next by another 5 lengths, and then Swivel, and Northern Trip is last early. It's Alexis Spirit and All About Ashley together, 24 flat for the first quarter mile. These two vie for the lead. Tarzan is third to the outside of them. Bullheaded Boy is fourth and down toward the rail. Then it's Sunny and Pally in fifth, followed by Candid Desire, Social Rebellion to the inside. Swivel's got 7 lengths to make up and is 5 clear of Northern Trip at the back. Alexis Spirit and All About Ashley continue to duke it out on the lead. They went 47-2 for the first half mile. And Tarzan sticks to them on the far outside. These three lined up around the turn. Right behind him is Bullheaded Boy on the inside of Sunny and Pally. Candid Desire is 3 wide. And then comes Social Rebellion. Swivel is second last. Northern Trip trails, but is getting closer as they come toward the top of the stretch. And it is Alexis Spirit. All About Ashley on the outside. Sunny and Pally confronts them. Bullheaded Boy right behind them. On the far outside comes Candid Desire, then Social Rebellion. And from dead last, Northern Trip is rolling in the center of the course and is coming the best. Northern Trip was so far behind, but is moving up on the far outside, along with Sunny and Pally, and down toward the inside, Bullheaded Boy, who got up and won. Bullheaded Boy up the fence to win it. Very close second, Sunny and Pally and Northern Trip. All About Ashley fourth.
Ground-saving ride. It was just a matter of would there be room, and Bullheaded Boy, who had to tap on the brakes ever so slightly, is able to bull his way up the rail, and he gets the money for Pletcher. Johnny.
Good name for him for this race. He was bullheaded. He got stopped, as you could see on that close-up. Saved all the ground. The 9 had a wide trip. No excuse for the 8, the worst I needed. He had a perfect trip. He just wasn't good enough today.
Win number 28 during this spring meet at Belmont Park for Todd Pletcher's barn. His percentage has barely dipped below 40. And look, Hall of Famer John Velasquez in the silks of Gary Barber. Anybody else you would look at coming out of this race? Because after all, it was essentially a blanket finish.
I want to look at it again. You know, the Ashley horse, Alexis Spirit, ended up on the lead on the inside. Probably not the race he's most comfortable in. And considering he arguably ran better than Bullheaded Boy the time they met last time, maybe he'll be a little better if he's able to rate, but I don't know. It felt like everybody had their chance. The 9 probably the toughest trip.
All right, the 9 horse was rolling late. The gray on the outside, Northern Trip for Jimmy Ryerson, who's had a good year quietly. 3 for 20 at the meet, had a good run over in Queens, and a Friday late pick 4 sounds pretty good to us. We will do just that after this quick timeout on Belmont Insider. Back to Belmont Park, Big Red, watching over the proceedings in the Belmont Park paddock, and things have settled down. We will gear up with the Saturday card that gets underway at 1:20 p.m. And with the Belmont Stakes and American Pharoah's Triple Crown sweep in the rearview mirror, we look ahead to that Stars and Stripes Racing Festival on the 4th of July.
That is going to be such a sensational day of racing. 11 races on that card. We'll be starting a little bit early, and you think about Lady Eli and the Oaks, Tonalist pointing for the Suburban, that Belmont Derby. So many good horses to look forward to, and I'll tell you, it's just going to be a great day of racing.
Wonder if Rockfall may find himself in the Belmont Sprint Championship as well. Again, all the other stakes, and there were some big efforts, were kind of lost in the wake of American Pharoah here over Big Sandy on Saturday. But Friday, Belmont Eve, I mean, how good was Rockfall in the True North?
Absolutely sensational, and you're right. So many good performances lost in the shuffle, and that's what's so great about this game. And obviously people love coming out for the big event with the Triple Crown American Pharoah, but we hope that a number of them were excited by what they saw, and if they come out a day like Stars and Stripes, they can see how much more this game has to offer and how many other good horses there are. It's going to be a great day of racing. No reason to miss it.
And the backyard, the place to be. We'll have the food trucks. I took a walk in the back earlier today. A hot day, quite humid, but plenty of shade to be had under the many trees in the Belmont Park backyard. A real well-kept secret in this massive palace as we are back to the front side, and we will catch them into the clubhouse turn for the start of race number 6.
Salt is away running in third, just in behind them. 3 wide into the turn. Broken Border very wide, caught well out into the course there, and saving all the ground is Courage is a Majority. Is That All There Is next, and I Love You Still is last, and 6 lengths off of Cosmic Tail, who has garnered the early lead. Cosmic Tail by a length and a half. Bebop Raindrop is second as they make their way to the back stretch. Just ahead of Courage is a Majority. They went 25-2 for the first quarter. And then comes Somersault on the outside. Broken Border is in 5th. Right behind them is That All There Is. I Love You Still is now 10 lengths behind as Cosmic Tail quickens up the backstretch. And Cosmic Tail has opened up a 4-length lead here on Bebop Raindrop, who just lets this front runner roll right along. Cosmic Tail by 4.5 lengths. After a half mile in 50 and 4/5 seconds, so the pace not all that fast. And now the pack closes in. Bebop Raindrop is now down to a length and 3/4 position behind this front runner as they go into the far turn. And then comes Courage is a Majority, third on the inside. Somersault follows in 4th by a length. Is That All There Is? And Broken Border are next. And last of them all is I Love You Still. It is still Cosmic Tale, a 21-1 long shot who set the pace throughout here. Off the rail is Courage Is a Majority, who gets going now. Courage Is a Majority swings up on the outside of the front runner at the top of the stretch. And here comes Bebop Raindrop with her run too. Down toward the inside comes Somersault. Is That All There Is next. And on the far outside it's Broken Border. And it is Courage Is a Majority. Courage Is a Majority, and John Velasquez, they're going to win by 2.5 over Somersault at the wire. Is That All There Is was third, and then came Bebop Raindrop.
Very solid, long-winded turf pedigree on this filly by Medaglia d'Oro, who's out of the Chester House mare Hostess, who was a good one for Jimmy Bond. Courage Is a Majority. Perfect ride, perfect trip.
Absolutely sensational ride by John Velasquez. Somersault, Rajiv sat behind and waited and also saved ground. I thought Rod Ortiz did the right thing trying to tip out the number 5. Is That All There Is in the turn? It kind of blew up in his face, but I just think that ultimately she may have been third best. And another thing, Jay, I know they didn't go to the third quarter in under 21 seconds.
Right, that is a wrong fraction. You're going to want to check out the Trackers page at NYRA.com.
That's the best thing to do on NYRA.com. Investigate that Trackers page. It's one of the many great things about the NYRA.com site, and it's a good place to go if you have any questions about any fractions.
Had a couple of very hot connections on tonight's show. 2 turf wins already for Hall of Famer Johnny V, and Graham Ocean has got himself a pair of turf wins. We'll see what shook out in the opening leg of the late double. This was a fun race going in. A big field, wider turf. Race number 8, and here's Larry once again.
These two speed out to the lead together. Glowing Ember is 2.5 lengths behind them, running in third. Run for Logistics is fourth by another 3.5, and they're being followed by Artie Crasher as they race for the far turn. Zandar is after that, and then it's Money Changer, followed by Data Driven to the outside, and then Natural Order and Heat Flash. 21 flat was the opening quarter mile as the field runs around the far turn. Malibu Charlie out there winging by 1.5 lengths. Unlock the Glory is second by another 3. Then comes Run for Logistics, followed by Glowing Ember in fourth, and the field scattered behind them as Malibu Charlie rolls along to the top of the stretch. Malibu Charlie turning for home in front, but here's Run for Logistics. Run for Logistics goes right on by. Zandar is coming up on the outside. Glowing Ember is third. Here's Zandar. Zandar to the front. And then it's Run for Logistics, Glowing Ember, and Natural Order under the wire. Zandar wins it by 2.5 lengths over Run for Logistics. And then it was Natural Order, followed by entry mates Glowing Ember and Money Changer.
Turf turn back for Zandar, who lately in his first 2 starts anyway, 2015, had met some pretty tough 3-year-old grass horses.
No, absolutely, and it shows you how good that takeover target race was. And the turn back worked for him. An absolutely picture-perfect ride by Junior Alvarado, and this horse gets the money. And I'll say one thing, they were flying up front.
Indeed, they were. The pace was very fast. Zandar, one of the horses that took advantage of that, as did the runner-up. Run for Logistics, that was Junior Alvarado up for trainer Tom Morley on that colt by Kitten's Joy, and not a picture-perfect wagering event by you in the 8th. You gave out Natural Order. He was your bomb on last night's Insider Show, your Friday play. You fooled around in some tries, and we all do. It's amazing the dumb things we do right before post when putting in bets sometimes.
No question. You know, this is one where they tried to give me money, and I was too stupid to take it, and played some tries using the 9 on top, obviously keying my long shot, the 10 for third, and left 2 horses out, and one of them was Dorsey ran second. Don't save the $4. Put it in there. Cost me $1,000.
All right, sorry to hear that. You'll get it back tomorrow. You did hit the late pick 4, however, and we'll have, in fact, the last leg of the pick 4 as we close things out with a look back at 1, 3, 4, 7 to 9 with Larry Colmus.
Turning for home in front. Kiss Cat comes to the 8th pole with the lead. Bella Facci on the outside is second. And then it's Nani Cunningham third to Kennesaw Cat with a lot of work to do. Now moving up into fourth on the far outside. Bella Facci is the new leader. Bella Facci is taken over from Kiss Cat. And then it's Nani Cunningham to Kennesaw Cat fourth. It's Bella Facci to win it by almost 2 in the end over Kiss Cat. Then Nani Cunny and Kennesaw Cat. Lengths back to No Herring. And they're into the stretch. And Cornelio Velasquez and Ali Cerro have put away Lyrical Miracle and No Herring. So as they come past the 8th pole, Ali Cerro is opening up with every stride. It's an 8-length lead at the 16th pole, and Ali Cerro can glide home from here. Andy Serling under the wire, winning it by 7 lengths in the end over Lyrical Miracle, and No Herring was third. Oh, She's All Even has taken second, and they're into the stretch. A 45 4/2 mile, and Pretty Like Me opens up 2.5 lengths here. And then comes She's All Even in second. Just Enough Diora has progressed from far behind and has a chance for second on the far outside, but Pretty Like Me is running away. And Pretty Like Me comes under the line in front over Just Enough Dior. And then it was She's All Even and Not About the Nail has lost the lead after a 45 4/2 mile, and they're into the stretch, and it is Wild Finish who has taken over here and is kicked away by 3 as Ultra Oro has taken second, and then comes Tax Player and Reggie D on the outside past the 16th pole, and it is Wild Finish and Luis Saez under the wire in front. Ultra Oro was second, Tax Player was third, and then Reggie D fourth. Hush Mush Mush is third to the outside of them. Right in behind the leaders, Tom's Vision looks to come on, and farther out, Act Feisty into the final furlong. My Friend Keith in front. Tom's Vision between Act Feisty on the outside. Here's Act Feisty, and Tom's Vision just steadied hard. Act Feisty and My Friend Keith down to the line, and it's going to be Act Feisty to go on and win from My Friend Keith. Tom's Vision last for third, and then it was Jackson and Leonard.
That'll do it. Act Feisty getting it done in the last, gelding by Birdstone for Irod Ortiz. Chad Brown, the winning trainer, dropping down 5-2 second choice. The favorite in the race wound up running second. That was My Friend Keith, the 3. He, however, was disqualified as we take a look at the replay, in fact, of race number 9, interfering with the number 10 horse, I believe, Tom's Vision, in the stretch.
Yeah, and it was a legitimate DQ, and you can actually looks worse on the pan than it does on the head-on, as we'll see when they come to mid-stretch. Right now, the 10 is behind in the blue. The 3 horses in the 2-path actually in front here. The 10 is going to go alongside of him, and as the 1 is going by, the 3 is going to drift and shut off the 10, who got a sensational ride, actually, by Israel Rodriguez, getting into position. And this is a race, and I think you'll agree, Jay, there's the 10, there's the 3, that'll bear further watching. Here comes the 1 who eventually wins the race. As a lot went on in this race, they went fast early. There were a lot of middle moves. The 1 got in some trouble. The 3 was aggressively ridden. The 10 may have had some issues, but right here you'll see the 3 come out. He shuts the door unfairly on the 10, who gets shut off. And you know what's interesting about the 10 is you see him getting shut off there. He comes back on. I think that may have weighed in the steward's decision. It's not like he was falling apart. He was actually gaining ground a little on the 3 late.
So we've got a 110-3 payout in the last. We hope you took down everything. We don't have a carryover into Saturday's card. And with another Friday down here, another hot Friday down, in fact, we'll get on to the rider standings on Belmont Insider, where Irod Ortiz Jr. is still the top dog. A 2-win afternoon, much like yesterday for Johnny V. And how about young Eric Consell, who wired another field earlier today? What do you like about him?
I like that he's aggressive. This man goes to the front, and he takes no prisoners, and the other guys sometimes are afraid to do it, and is really paying off for this kid. I like what I see.
Todd Pletcher walked away with the victory. Bullheaded boy. Midway through the program, Chad Brown picked up a victory in the last race. Kieran McLaughlin took it easy. Belmont finished third in the nightcap, and we'll see a whole bunch of those people in action throughout the weekend at Belmont Park. A quiet day regarding claims. We see Joe Sharp jumped in and took War Hero, the beaten favorite, who did not run well in race number 7. And we also had a claim on the winner, Wild Finish. We'll preview Saturday, an excellent poker, and a very nice third race with the good-looking Phipps horse when we come back. 2:22 post for Saturday's third. Here's the preview. Hereditary, 4-year-old by Medaglia d'Oro, looking for 4 consecutive wins.
It's amazing. He's a Shug McGahee Phipps horse that's run once in New York but won 3 straight races out of town, including this easy win at Keeneland. He looks very good. And the other thing is, Jay, there's not a ton of speed signed on paper. Hereditary with Castellano, an aggressive rider, could be in a position to wire this field.
Post 2 as he makes his Belmont Park debut out of Pleasant Home, who had her big moment upsetting the field here at Belmont in the 05 BC Distaff. Cool Samurai, he's a good one. You liked them last year. I can still remember you just going bananas when he won this race and was so good last November.
This was an awesome performance by him. He wasn't the best part of the racetrack, but literally they were crawling up front. Celebrated Talent is in good form and was set a controlled pace, and yet he still was able to run him down right in the money. I was actually at Santa Anita for his last race. This is a good horse for John Sheriffson. He doesn't have to be far out of it.
5-year-old who has been gingerly handled the 5 Touch of Star quality, who did run into Coach Inge last time.
No, he had no chance to beat him in his last start. As we look at this race, and I think in this race we're going back actually a year plus ago when he won at Aqueduct. He's got talent, but like a lot of talented horses, trainer has trouble keeping him on the racetrack. We'll keep our fingers crossed.
All right, we have that $300,000 guaranteed late pick 4. It'll get underway in race 7. The third, however, at 222, not to be missed. Now, the poker won't play part in the guaranteed late pick 4. It is the opening leg of Saturday's pick 6 and a rematch Preakness Day against Ironicus and Long on Value.
If Javier Castellano should win, and probably Victor Espinosa is going to win the Eclipse this year, but if Javier won his third in a row, they might want to show this ride on Ironicus. Shug McGay's done a sensational job with him. A lot of bad luck in races. He got good luck in here. Bad luck was Long on Value, who I like in the poker.
Heart to heart, Brian Lynch dropping out of a half-length loss against Winning Cause in the Red Bank, a race that came up very fast. Here's his win last fall as a 3-year-old.
Winning Cause loves that Monmouth turf. Has won 3 stakes, I believe, or maybe 2 or 3 on the course. There's a lot of speed in this race, but you always want to have the speed of the speed. And Heart to Heart, man, he is one tough racehorse. He's an interesting player.
And another intriguing player stepping up, stakes debut for All Included. Unbeaten in 3 on the turf. He's got Pletcher Johnny from the rail. What do you think of him as he goes way up in class?
Well, you know I'm tossing him. I told you last time he ran. You told me he was going to win. I told you he had no chance. I'm an idiot. You were right. He got the money. He's a nice horse. And I tell you, this was a very good effort, considering he's coming off a layoff and a much tougher field. Still, the pace held together. He gets the inside with utter speed. I'll tell you, if nothing else, this is a very good spot for him because he gets a gut check. We'll find out where he stands.
Long on Value, you like him. You picked him on top, I'm assuming, for Talking Horses. You'll be on with Mike Beer, who's been as hot as anybody. Maybe the only hotter horse or person in the country than Mike Beer might be American Pharoah. But what do you like about Long on Value?
You know, I loved his effort at Gulfstream when he won the Canadian turf. I thought he made a couple of moves in there, ran very well. Maybe he wasn't happy on the softer turf going to the front of Keeneland. He made a premature 4-wide move last time. I thought he held on very well as that pace fell apart in the Dixie. He would have been my insider pick if I was making one.
He'll pick up Joel Rosario for Belmont before Joel hops on a plane, a helicopter, a train, who knows? He's got a date with Lee. In tomorrow's Grade 1 Stephen Foster, Travis Stone will be at the mic, and we'll have Larry Comas at the mic all summer long, along with Johnny I here and there at Saratoga Racecourse. We'll have those full season seat plans and season passes currently on sale. Naira.com/Saratoga, Ticketmaster.com. The breeze blows. What a day here at Belmont Park. That'll do it for Andy and myself. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and best of luck at the windows.